Are we live? Are we live? Okay. What's up, everybody? Today, I am Apocalypse 96. I know I'm not gonna say my real name today, because I don't really like saying it, but I want to see if I can do anything relevant today. Like join some tournaments. I'm trying to join, but it won't let me. Yeah. Just move your hips and down. Move your hips and dance. Just move your hips and dance. If anybody knows that song, share the link, but I've heard it from something. If you know it, just share the link down below. Slap the like button, hit the bell, and subscribe if you want to, because I'm very new to this. Running for opponent. I don't know what happened to my volume. Okay.
Give it to me. What? The fucking phone. Why do you have this?
Oh, last day was supposed to be over.
No. I didn't say you weren't grounded, did I? And this is why.
Captured. He's accused of doing meth all night and beating a woman before the alleged murder.
Here, take the battery.
Six friend, I have a shotgun in the hallway, laying on the ground. Slow down now. Where?
You're watching a newly released police body cam video of the moments after a shot was fired. This is inside a Florida high school. The shooter hit another student in the ankle, telling officers he's sorry while he's in handcuffs. That's coming up. Welcome. I'm Michael Honors.
And I'm Christy Paul. You're watching On the Story. And we want to get right to our big story, these shocking details that we're learning this hour. In Springfield, Massachusetts, police rescue a woman who says she had been held captive, that she had been tortured for a month,
And if that's not bad enough, it seems to be getting worse. So police search the suspect's home. This is Stuart Weldon. And while there, they discover multiple bodies and they investigate. There could be more. And that's not all. We're also learning that a child was taken into state custody at that home. Now, investigators on the scene as we speak using advanced technology as they continue to scour the property.
The search has continued since last night when we confirmed the recovery of a third body. We're intensely searching, as you can tell. We have used technology. Many of you might have seen. It is ground-penetrating radar.
Any indication on how long those bodies were there for the end state of decomposition?
Not at this juncture. The primary focus is on the property, as you can tell, and we're going to build a case around that.
So the big question, could there be more bodies? Joining me now by phone, Jerome Campbell, reporter, Boston Globe. He's in Springfield working his sources throughout all this. Jerome, talk to me about the latest in the investigation.
Well, at this point in the investigation, it appears that the officers are still working. I know at this point it appears that they had put up a white tent somewhere along the fence line and that a piece of the fence has been removed. It's unclear to say exactly what that means for the investigation. I know earlier this morning there was a black screen that was put up on Thursday and it was moved to a new location earlier this morning. At this point, officers and the district attorney have not exactly said what that means for the investigation, but it appears that the investigation could be going in a different direction, or including new information.
Who lives in the home? I mean, is Stuart Weldon? Who else? I've read reports that it's his mom's house. What is the story that you know right now?
Well, I mean, there's not an exact official response about who's lived in the house. I know the district attorney has attempted to say who's lived there. I know that many of the residents said that they have seen Weldon as well as a young woman and a teenage girl at the house. Many of the neighbors weren't able to say too much about their interactions with any of the residents of the house.
All right, Jerome, clear up how this all began. I think it was Sunday. Starts with a traffic stop. Next thing you know, Weldon's apprehended. There's a woman inside. It sounds like she's got just a harrowing story to tell.
Yeah, so on Sunday evening, the Springfield police stopped Weldon for both a taillight, and as part of that, they find a woman who has injuries. I think I believe that she had a saddle accident. I believe one of the injuries, and as part of that, Mr. Weldon was arrested, and the woman was taken to the hospital. As part of that investigation, they find out more about how this woman has been held for a period of time, and additional information comes in as part of this investigation that reveals that there could be additional evidence at the house. And so this brings us to Wednesday evening when Springfield police searched the house and find 2 bodies. And that sort of takes us through the last 2 days where investigators have been searching the house and the grounds for additional evidence, additional bodies. At this point, earlier today, the district attorney said that they are searching the ground using radar technology to see if there's anything else. But at this point, all we know is that 3 bodies had been recovered, including one yesterday around 2 p.m.
Got it. Okay. Jerome, thanks again. Jerome Campbell with Boston Globe giving us the latest. The search for more bodies continues. We'll stay on top of it. Christy.
Hey, Mike, thank you. Listen, if you've been following Roseanne Barr on Twitter, you might be confused about how difficult it is to get an idea as to where she stands after ABC asked her show Roseanne. Sometimes Barr apologizes. Other times she writes that she's going to fight the network, but it's just not clear how. A lot of people have been looking forward to this interview that she said she was going to have today with comedian Joe Rogan. Fans and critics had a lot of questions for her, but in the last hour here, Rogan said the anticipated interview is not happening, at least not today. Here's what he wrote. Roseanne is not doing well and doesn't want to travel, and she's gone radio silent on me, so I'm just going to step away. The whole thing's been pretty brutal on her, and I hope she can find some peace. Now, he did actually speak to Roseanne Barr earlier this week and shared what she told him on his podcast, The Rogan Experience.
I know Roseanne.
I talked to her on the phone, and I believe every word she said. She told me that she was taking Ambien and that she was drunk on Memorial Day weekend, and she tweeted a bunch of stupid. She's out of her mind, and she said, you know, in her words, I need to adjust my meds. You know, I'm not thinking straight. And she was talking about how exhausted she got doing that television show, and she got bronchitis, and she was overworked. I think she's stressing the out. She also told me that she did not know that that lady was even black. She thought that lady was Jewish. And she said to me, like, do you really think that I would make a joke about a black lady and say Planet Apes? I wouldn't do that. She's like, I thought she was Jewish. Look at her. I don't think she's lying to me. I don't think she's racist.
It's a stretch to be like,
it is.
I took Ambien and I said something I would never say in a million years.
Roseanne she's an older lady. She's in her 60s, and, you know, she's had some mental problems, and she's drinking, and she's taking that stuff to go to sleep. And she's not taking it for just 2 weeks. She's taking it a lot, you know, and she says she needs it to go to sleep. And I think there's a lot of people that feel like they need something to help them go to sleep.
That's fine, but
And for
don't
many people,
tweet.
I think it's worse. Yeah, I don't think
At the end of the day, it's not like she took Ambien and that makes it bad. Like, no, it's that she tweeted what she did.
Rob Shooter with NaughtyGossip.com with us now. So, Rob, good to see you. First of all, if and when Roseanne does sit down publicly with someone, is there a sense of what she needs to say or do that could even lay the groundwork for some sort of comeback for her?
Yeah, I spoke to several PR professionals about this and asked them what they would recommend if she was a client and what she should do next. And I think that often when celebrities make terrible, terrible mistakes, America is a very, very forgiving place if we believe the apology is sincere. And this is where Roseanne has got herself, I think, in even more trouble since the outrageous tweets now just a few days ago. She's really inconsistent. Sometimes she appears to be really sad and really upset. Other times she's very defiant. Other times I think she feels like a little bit of a victim here. And so I think Roseanne has to sit down and decide what the truth is, how she really feels about this, and when she's ready to express those feelings, to sit down, be consistent, speak from the heart, say she messed up, apologize. And I think if she does all that, there is a future. Maybe not in the short term. Maybe the show is not coming back next week, next month, next year. But I think if she really says sorry and she means it, then I think there is possibly maybe a third act.
There is a lesson for anybody watching this, even kids who don't understand the power of their words necessarily. But we know that yesterday she tweeted and then later deleted about the way that she begged ABC not to cancel Roseanne, she says, and that the ABC boss told her what she posted was, quote, unforgivable. So what do you make about revealing that part of what was clearly a private conversation, but what else was she saying about how this whole thing unfolded?
Yeah, I think once again Roseanne proves what a loose cannon she is. Like, let's remember at the ABC upfronts, where they're the big sort of big events where they meet advertisers. Roseanne opened the show and she came out and sang Frank Sinatra's My Way. And I think on one hand we really respect Roseanne for doing things her way. The other time, though, is if you're going to do things your way, you only have yourself to blame. I do know that it's never a good idea to have a private conversation with your boss. Doesn't matter where you work, at a TV network or anywhere else. If you have a conversation with your boss, a private conversation, and then you tweet quotes from that, once again, I think you're proving to the network that you probably cannot be trusted and they maybe made the right decision here.
All right, I want to ask you about another comedian, Samantha Bee here. She has apologized for making this crude, vile joke about Ivanka Trump. 2 of her advertisers have already pulled out from her TBS show, which is our sister network, we want to say in all transparency. So Bee has used similar language, though, Rob. I mean, this is not wholly unusual for her to use this word. Do you get the belief or the sense that the backlash is because it was used about Ivanka? Or is it made even worse because of the timing coming right after Roseanne?
I think it's a combination of both. I think Ivanka's role in this White House has always been very unclear. Sometimes when she's in Israel opening up a new embassy, she's there on behalf of the administration. Other times when you criticize her father or ask her questions about her father, she's very quick to point out that she's just the first daughter and has very little sort of role within that administration. So I think that's quite a complex position Ivanka has set up. This word, this really ugly word, was something that clearly should not have been said, and I think Samantha Bee was very quick to apologise. I think we believed her apology, and unlike Roseanne, she's not gone back and forth with blaming people or changing her mind or apologising again. So I think it was a terrible thing to do. I think she's apologised, and I think she'll probably survive this now that she seems to have put it to rest and really did a sincere apology. But I do understand on the surface here, if you don't dig too deep, two people saying very terrible things, one being fired and one not, on the surface looks very, very unfair. However, I think if you dig down a little bit deeper, they're two very different situations.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that. Rob Shooter, a very good point to make. Thank you for being with us as always.
It's good to see you, my friend.
You too.
Well, we have brand new body cam video. We're going to take you inside a school. This is during a school shooting. We're going to walk step for step with the officer and experience the heart-pounding moments as he confronts the alleged shooter.
Go inside the science and psychology of evil.
This guy was charming, but a lot of psychopaths are.
Inside Evil with Chris Cuomo. Series premiere June 17th at 8 on HLN.
I have type 2 diabetes. I'm trying to manage my A1C. Then I learned type 2 diabetes puts me at greater risk for heart attack or stroke. Can one medicine help treat both blood sugar and cardiovascular risk? I asked my doctor. She told me about non-insulin Victoza. Victoza is not only proven to lower A1C and blood sugar, but for people with type 2 diabetes treating their cardiovascular disease, Victoza is also approved to lower the risk of major CV events, such as heart attack, stroke, or death. While not for weight loss, Victoza may help you lose some weight.
Victoza is not for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not take Victoza if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Victoza or any of its ingredients. Stop taking Victoza and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck or symptoms of a serious allergic reaction such as rash, swelling, difficulty breathing or swallowing. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. So stop taking Victoza and call your doctor right away if you have severe pain in your stomach area. Tell your doctor your medical history. Gallbladder problems have happened in some people. Tell your doctor right away if you get symptoms. Taking Victoza with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Common side effects are nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, indigestion, and constipation. Side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
Change the course of your treatment. Ask your doctor about Victoza.
Real energy harnessed from the earth. Nature value.
Only Tylenol rapid release gels have laser drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. Tylenol.
The best part about being a bath fitter installer is the review. Homeowners greet us in the morning and love that we're going to install a beautiful new tub right over the old one without tearing the bathroom apart. But they're never quite prepared for what they get come the end of the day. We call it the wow moment. When they see their new bathtub that's high quality and more beautiful than they could have imagined, I can't help but smile. Since it's Bath Fitter, it's built to last a lifetime. We guarantee it. You too can have a bathroom you'll love. Call now or visit bathfitter.com.
My husband has PTSD.
I never heard the term post-traumatic stress.
The day he got home, the first time I saw him, I knew something was wrong.
My wife left her email account open, and I saw 2 emails with our pastor. She said, "Can you please, pray for me and Bill? Things are tough. If I knew Bill was going to be like this, I would not have married him."
For a long time, he just held it together. We all held it together. He had almost isolated himself from socializing with anyone. I like to say that I feel like he came back to life when he got involved with the Renewed Warrior Project.
It's not an overnight fix, but we have so many tools now to work with.
And I'm optimistic for the future. That's why I say don't give up.
Lose addiction. You're such a human being.
ideals, goals, and aspirations. Inside Your Mind with a Serial Killer. Inside Evil with Chris Cuomo. Series premiere June 17th today on the show.
Last story, first word. Who knows what else he's hiding from us? Don't move.
Dennis Leary joins the cast and Pingo on Tuesdays at 9 and watch anytime on demand and on the TNT app.
Well, we have brand new body cam video from a school shooting in April. This was in Ocala, Florida. One student was injured, no one was killed, and the 19-year-old shooter taken into custody. Now, this is from the perspective of the officer who's in the heat of the moment, has no idea what's going to happen next. One of the many questions, what can we learn from this? Joining me now, CNN law enforcement analyst and former assistant director for the U.S. Marshals, is Art Roderick. Art, good to see you on this one. So let's watch, and this was about 20 minutes, by the way, so it's been cut down into some separate pieces. First thing to note here, if you watch the first video, is you see this alleged shooter come running up the stairs, backpack in a black guitar case. We've come to find out in that guitar case is a 16-gauge sawed-off shotgun, blue backpack, in that a tactical vest, gloves, ammo. The first thing I think people think of, well, that's a pretty good argument right there, Art, for metal detectors, right?
Exactly, for fortifying schools a lot more than what they currently are. You know, the first thing that struck me too was not only this, but he when you hear the officer first responding, you hear his breathing increase. He knows he's going to something bad. When you responded to possible explosion, you have to assume right away that it's possibly dealing with an active shooter, and you can hear his breathing increases. He's responding to the scene.
Yeah. Well, on that point, let's watch it again. From this place here, just to let everybody know, this alleged shooter goes into the bathroom, puts on the tactical vest, loads the sawed-off shotgun, puts on some gloves, and then another girl, a student walks by, didn't even notice that he's armed. You mentioned it, walks by and shoots into the classroom. That's when the 17-year-old girl was hit around the ankle area. It's going to be okay. Puts down the gun in the hallway. So let's pick it up there as the school officer is responding. And it's to your point, Art. You can hear the heart pounding, the heavy breathing. Here we go. Let's watch.
996 Bird, I have a shotgun in the hallway laying on the ground. Did we lock the school down? Lock the school down now. So they said McManus is the kid. Huh? McManus has the kid. Where? Hey, you stay right there. Down on the ground. What the hell? Put your hands behind your back. Everyone out. Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. Who is he? 996 Burn. I have one in custody. They're saying he's a shooter. Did anyone see him? Do you go to this school? What the? Alright, go. Out. Everyone out. Hey, keep them right there.
Wow, so much there. What's your first thought about how the officer's handling that situation?
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he was trained to do. He's locking down the school. He's calling out the signals on the radio. We didn't hear that portion of it. It's a long video, like you said, Mike, 20 minutes long. But you hear him calling out the signals for an individual that's armed and dangerous. There's a shooting in the school. We've got one injured person, and he's relaying this all over the radio, and also telling them to lock all the doors in the schools and to get back up there as soon as possible.
There's so many interesting points here. One of them I thought was, and get your take, Art, the back and forth with this alleged shooter. As the alleged shooter is polite, trying to give an explanation as to why it's going on. What do you do with that as an officer?
Yeah, it's very strange, the whole scenario. I mean, this could have been really, really bad. I mean, he's got a 16-gauge shotgun and fires a slug, which is about almost an ounce of lead. You can see the hole in the door. And I mean, for him to just fire it once, drop the weapon, and then go to another classroom and basically give himself up, it's a whole strange set of circumstances here. And as we've seen, this was probably, I think, the 20th shooting of this year at a school. As we've seen in others, it doesn't really work out this well and end this quickly. So they're very fortunate here. that the shooter wasn't more determined to hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, one last piece of video here is where it's coming to an end, it seems. Anyway, the alleged shooter's being walked to the patrol car. Let's watch that and get your take on it.
Yeah, I think that. I don't know about this thing.
What are the emotions here as you're winding down this life and death experience?
Yeah, I mean, you can hear the officers' voices a lot calmer. They're going through the usual protocol of doing the pat-down search, also taking off his tactical vest that he had on. Earlier he was asking him if there were any other weapons, are there explosives, and those are some of the key questions since the initial call that the resource officer got. He was responding to an explosion. So, I mean, they're going through all the typical protocols, but you can hear they're a lot calmer now. They know the situation is over, and they're handling this as a standard arrest, placing him in a marked vehicle and transporting him to jail.
Yeah, really fascinating. I'm sure law enforcement can learn from that one. Always good seeing you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Lee.
So Whataburger is apologizing after one of its managers refused to serve a police officer. This was in the Houston area and was apparently because the officer was wearing his weapon. Now, Whataburger doesn't allow people to openly carry firearms, but that rule exempts law enforcement. Here's the thing. In this case, the officer was in plain clothes. Whataburger did issue a statement apologizing, saying this was just an employee misunderstanding the company's policy, and they have reached out to the detective to make this right. Police say an Uber driver shot and killed his passenger, and now authorities want to know how that ride escalated to that kind of violence.
Plaque psoriasis can be relentless. Your plaques are always there at the worst times, constantly interrupting you with itching, burning, and stinging. Being this uncomfortable is unacceptable. I'm ready. Tremfya works differently for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. With Tremfya, you can get clearer and stay clearer. In fact, most patients who saw 90% clear skin at 28 weeks stayed clearer through 48 weeks. Tremfya works better than Humira at providing clearer skin, and more patients were symptom-free with Tremfya.
Tremfya may lower your ability to fight infections and may increase your risk of infections. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or have symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough. Before starting Tremfya, tell your doctor if you plan to or have recently received a vaccine.
Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Tremfya, because you deserve to stay clearer. Janssen wants to help you explore cost support options for Tremfya.
I love my grandma.
As you grow older, your brain naturally begins to change, which may cause trouble with recall.
Learning from him is great when I can keep up.
Thankfully, Prevagen helps your brain and improves memory.
Dad's got all the answers.
Prevagen is now the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide.
She outsmarts me every single time. Checkmate. Do you want to play again?
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
You know that's poison ivy, right?
Yeah, no.
Game's about to start, guys. Let's go.
There are some things you should understand before it's too late. Your car insurance coverage is one of them. Call Amica for a quote and we'll work harder to explain your options. For example, what's the difference between single limit and split limit coverage? Discover the car insurance you really need before you really need it. Call Amica now or get a quote at amica.com. Welcome to Amica. This is helpfulness insured.
This is your wake-up call. If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis, month after month, the clock is ticking on irreversible joint damage. Ongoing pain and stiffness are signs of joint erosion. Humira can help stop the clock. Prescribed for 15 years, Humira targets and blocks a source of inflammation that contributes to joint pain and irreversible damage.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infection. infections or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Help stop the clock on further irreversible joint damage. Talk to your rheumatologist right here, right now. Humira.
We've all come to appreciate the modern improvements in our routines. Also in foot care? Absolutely. The Amapay Pedi Perfect removes hard skin more conveniently than a manual file. For smooth feeling feet effortlessly. Amapay.
Are you one of 25 million Americans living with bladder control issues and on Medicaid? Then stay tuned for a free offer from ActiveStock.
What if all of your incontinence products could be delivered conveniently to your door at no cost to you? Well, now they can with Active Style. When you call us, a personal consultant will help you find just the right product. Our incontinence products arrive direct to your doorstep in discreet boxes. If you're Medicaid eligible, we'll send you a free sample.
Call 800-829-0891. Call now.
A place for mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. They have advice that can help you find the right senior care at no cost to you. There's a place for answers, a place for mom.
800-301-3253. Maine officials telling people they will not be rescued if they get trapped by the volcano. Residents of the Leilani Estates on the Big Island were told weeks ago to leave their homes. Some people, though, have still not evacuated. A lava flow is moving toward the only highway now that can reach them and get them out of there.
So Denver police say an Uber driver shot his passenger and killed him. This happened on a major Denver freeway early this morning. Take a look at the pictures we're getting. And the driver was also taken to the hospital, by the way, treated and released. We don't know about his injuries just yet, but police are trying to figure out now exactly what happened and whether that victim was a paying customer, if the two men knew each other. Drew Griffin's been looking into this. What are they saying to you, police?
Really, they have gone pretty dark in Denver as they investigate this. It looks like it's going to be turned over to the district attorney's office. But earlier this morning, well, one of the people on the scene, one of the police officers on the scene, tried to explain what happened, and you can listen to how much they really don't know.
This is very preliminary. It appears there was an Uber driver and his passenger got into a conflict inside his vehicle. Shots were exchanged, were fired, and the passenger, it appears, was shot and subsequently transported to the hospital where he later died.
We know that Uber is working with the Denver police on this, Christy, and that no charges have been filed. So we may have a situation here where, was it self-defense? What was going on? And again, we do not know if this Uber driver was driving for Uber at the time of this incident.
Oh, very good point. But he did say there, and correct me if I'm wrong as I was trying to listen there, that shots were exchanged. So,
You know, we've heard that, but we just don't know the facts.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I just wanted to start to clarify what I thought we heard there. You have been doing so many investigations with Uber, one of which is background checks for the ride sharing, not just, I suppose, Uber, but maybe Lyft and others. What are you learning about background checks?
This came out of our investigation into how many passengers have been sexually assaulted by Uber drivers, by Lyft drivers, mostly by Uber drivers because Uber's such a big company. We wanted to see what the background check process was. We were stunned to find out how many times Uber has failed its own background checks, and we found, sexual assault, predators on the road. We found paroled murderers on the road for Uber. Time and time again in city after city where Uber's own background checks have failed to capture these people. They shouldn't be driving for Uber, and yet in city after city and state after state they are. Most of these background checks, in fact almost all of them across the country, are done by Uber itself. So Uber hires its own company to do its background checks. Part of our investigation found that Uber hired 415 lobbyists to go state by state through the United States to make sure that new laws on the book would regulate the rideshare industry, Christy, but that regulation would mean Uber does its own background checks. This is different than taxi. This is different than limousine, where you have governments involved. So Uber is doing its own background checks, and in our reporting, we have found time and time again those background checks have failed.
All right. Drew, you have just dug deep with this. It's amazing what you've uncovered. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Mike?
Well, Chris, a lot of people breathing a sigh of relief in Tennessee today after 2 days on the run. A fugitive suspected of shooting and killing a Tennessee police officer has been caught. Stephen Wiggins, now in custody. Police believe he murdered Dixon County Sheriff Daniel Baker. At a press conference a short time ago, the county sheriff read a statement written by Sergeant Baker's wife.
There are no words to describe the level of devastation that myself and family are dealing with. We, the family of my husband and best friend, Sergeant Daniel Baker, would like to convey our gratitude to the endless efforts of the law enforcement officers, first responders, EMS, fire and rescue, and volunteers in the apprehension of the two suspects that have forever changed our lives. Lastly, I would like to ask our family, friends, and community to help our daughter, Meredith, to always know how wonderful and amazing her father is. His service and dedication to his country and community will always be remembered.
The district attorney announced he will pursue the death penalty for both suspects charged in the murder of Officer Baker.
It's a long process. I don't even know if I'll be alive when we get to that point with the appeals process and the way things move, but we'll be there each step of the way, Lord willing, and if they have to wheel me into the courthouse, I will be there.
And we remember Sergeant Daniel Baker and keep his loved ones in our thoughts and prayers. Well, parents say their son suffered from seizures and the only thing that helped was marijuana. But in Georgia, that's illegal. So mom and dad lost custody.
It was here. I couldn't catch my breath.
It was the last song of the night. Felt like my heart was skipping beats.
I went to the ER. They said I had AFib.
AFib? What's AFib?
I knew that meant I was at a greater risk of stroke.
I needed answers.
Once I got the facts, my doctor and I chose Xarelto.
Xarelto, to help keep me protected from a stroke.
Once daily Xarelto, a latest generation blood thinner, significantly lowers the risk of stroke in people with AFib not caused by a heart valve problem. In a clinical study, over 96% of people taking Xarelto remain stroke-free.
Xarelto works differently.
Warfarin interferes with at least 6 of your body's natural blood clotting factors. Xarelto is selective, targeting just one critical factor. For AFib patients well managed on warfarin, there is limited information on how Xarelto compares in reducing the risk of stroke. Don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. Xarelto can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. It may increase your risk of bleeding if you take certain medicines. Take help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. Do not take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Before starting, tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures and any kidney or liver problems.
Learn all you can
to help protect yourself from a stroke.
Talk to your doctor about Xarelto.
There are more threats in today's digital universe. That's why Norton and LifeLock now fight as one to protect you more against threats like malware and identity theft. It takes the right team to fight threats in today's digital universe.
Well, then I guess it's this one.
Solo, a Star Wars story, now playing. Get new Norton with LifeLock, starting at $7.99 a month.
How much horsepower does this thing
Why
have?
is it not working? Come on, man.
Are you
Oh, shit.
At Booking.com, we can't guarantee you'll be any good at that water jet thingy.
Where to treat. So start your search with a specialist at Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Start with teams of cancer treatment experts under one roof. Start where specialists use advanced genomic testing to guide precision cancer treatment that may lead to targeted therapies and more treatment options. Start where there's a commitment to analyzing the latest research and conducting clinical trials to help each
helping her to move on.
So many things happen. If people's temperature drops, they feel like they're touched, like somebody's.
Wow, look at that, guys.
The French Huguenots were Protestant Spanish soldiers.
Food with real citrus peels.
You sandwiches seem to love my new mayonnaise.
It's amazing.
He doesn't seem so amazed. I'm not worried.
Sandwiches can't resist the great taste of Heinz. Introducing deliciously creamy Heinz Real Mayonnaise.
Every day, Zoo Lily brings you something special.
This Stockton is so cute. My eyes are literally going to explode out of my face.
Tanya, that's not helping us sell adorable dog tints.
Fine. Pet to the adorable dog.
Zoo Lily, something special every day.
Beyond is a natural pet food that goes beyond assuming ingredients are safe to knowing they are. Going beyond expectations because our pets are beyond natural pet food.
With the Western Union app, simply tap here and send cash there so you can lend a helping hand right now. Send up to $500 or $5 around the world when you start your transaction on the Western Union app and pay in cash.
I hear there's something big at NCP. The holiday savings, but the savings don't have to. Now through June 3rd, buy 2 tires, get 2 free when you purchase our value installation package during our extended super sale. Plus, get a $50 rebate when you use your store credit card. Drive away with big savings on the biggest brands like Goodyear, Continental, Cooper, Nitto, and more. It's the buy 2, get 2 super sale. Extended until June 3rd and only at NCP. That's all you need.
I'm old.
The milk?
No, my credit score's a month out of date.
That's why I use Wallet Hub. I get free credit reports and scores, and they're updated daily.
Daily updates?
Yeah, your credit score can change by 100 points in 1 week. So why use an app with stale data?
And it's really free?
Yeah, Wallet Hub is always free and always fresh. Fresher than this milk.
Sign up for Wallet Hub now for your free credit reports and scores.
On Travel Channel.
My name is Amy Allen. I speak to dead people.
I'm Steve Sharp. I'm a retired homicide detective. We uncover if it's safe for you to stay
Or time to get out.
All new The Dead Files on an all-new night. Tonight at 10 on Travel Channel.
We're just getting ready to get locked inside. Now you're gonna come back and let us out at dawn, okay? Now that is a big door. And we cannot escape this place at all. See you in the morning. All right, man, 7 a.m. You guys ready? Let's go to base, get our gear ready, and get ready to fly. Okay, so one of these rooms here, we found a 3D model of the Castillo de San Marcos, the old fort. It has actually the exposed cannon deck up here, where we have 3 exit points. Number 1, the cannon blast site. This is where Andy saw the apparition of a soldier carrying a lantern walking down that area there. Number 2, the execution wall. This is where Cal showed us a photo earlier of an apparition that he got of Andrew Ransom, with an English pirate that was actually brooded to death right there on that wall. Number 3, the cannon deck. This is where Eric said that he saw the floating head of the Indian Osceola. Number 4, the bones room. This is where human bones were found, where people were shackled alive and sealed off. Number 5, the jail cell. This is where Karen said she witnessed the psychic being attacked by an evil spirit. Number 6, the cannon room. This is where John told us a lot of people get pushed. Number 7, the soldiers' quarters. This is where Dustin told us that she was unexplained.
Look at like the second job.
Alright,
What? I don't like a second job. When we go talk to him. I don't know, maybe it's weekend.
She's absolutely incredible.
Close my door.
Walking around.
Get him out, close my door.
It's just natural chill. We are in this fort, which goes back nearly 350
There we
years.
go.
And all of the Indians and Spanish soldiers, over 15 battles and sieges took place right here. And now, we're the only 3 locked inside here. I'm just pumped. You guys pumped? Let's go get this started. I'm nervous. You're always nervous. We're in the treasure room. We have have some Spanish money right here. What we're going to do is I'm going to place these in a nice neat line, side by side. What I'm going to do next is we're using this new piece of equipment. It's called an EM pump, electromagnetic energy. Once I turn this switch on, it will then create an electromagnetic field right around this area. And that basically lets spirits use this energy from this pump to hopefully pick up and remove these points. And I'm going to film that money right where the EM pump is. I'm going to put an EMF detector that measures electromagnetic fields right up to this pump. You're going to see this thing spit down spurts of electromagnetic energy. Watch this. You're shooting it there? Yep. Small weather. You can see it, the needle jumping up and down? Yep, it's going crazy. So, if there's anybody in here that you can hear me, we left some money here for you. But we're only going to leave it here for an hour. So we have to get out of here. You can see the lights changing. It's active. Let's go.
Just after midnight, we headed off for the hidden room where human bones have been found. That's when the Castillo came alive.
And all of a sudden, right about here, it's like something just passed right through me. And I felt it in my whole face, all the way through my body.
Oh, no, you just froze up.
It's froze up. I'm like, who's in here? Are you trying to mess with us? We hear that you like to push people in this room. What the? Whoa. All of us just heard what sounded like a scream. Here's the enhanced audio.
There's like a single scream.
Yeah. It's coming from back here. It's coming from back here. Something's coming through here. There is something. There's something. You want to go in? Yeah, I'm going to go in there. But this is the room where they found human bones. And they said that there were live people that were shackled to the wall in here with chains. And I'm asking myself, if those screams we just heard were the people that were buried alive, we're going to get out of this.
I'm going to roll my 2 digital recorders right here to try to capture some EVPs or electronic voice phenomena.
I'm creepy on you guys. This is creepy as hell. Oh my gosh. You guys get in here. Nick, come on. Oh, it's like a heavy feeling.
It is. It's almost like we're walking underwater.
Yeah, it's really heavy in here. This is just where we heard that scream come from. And that's still giving me chills, man. Yeah, I know. That's still giving me chills.
When we discovered this place, there was chains with bones hanging off it like this.
Yeah. Were you one of the people that was tortured down there? We're looking for spikes of electromagnetic energy, something ghosts are said to give off.
Can you understand what I'm saying?
Zach, what's talking Spanish? Talking Spanish? Yeah. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Sí tú?
No. Guys, you get what? What's the matter? I keep getting touched, man. I'm getting.
Oh, I just heard a whisper. I swear to God.
Yeah, no, I do too.
I don't know if it's up higher. Like, no, shut up. What?
Now.
Oh, what's wrong? What? Dude. Are you okay, man?
Oh my God. I just had this breeze just go right through me like that, man. Like that. It just blew right on my neck. Right on my. Someone's in here. No, I felt that, guys. That was.
If you're here and you're trying to communicate with us, we want you to make a noise right now. Make a noise.
Did you hear that? There was a knocking sound right next to you, bro.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Dude, that was like footsteps, like. They're in here, so let's communicate. Make a noise for us right now.
Tell me you heard that. What'd you hear? I heard like a hotel growl. I swear to God, man, it's coming from that corner. You didn't hear that?
It was communicating with him.
Aaron, ask a question. Ask a question.
Ask quick. They're going to you, man. They touched me now. They're going to you.
Okay, ask. Whatever's on your mind, just ask it.
Just say it. Whatever's in your mind.
Was it terrible in here while you were died, being chained up and known for like probably 6 to 7 days?
At this exact moment, our digital recorder captured this chilling, unexplained voice.
Just waiting day by day by day.
It's a terrible way to go. What kind of trapped soul?
Angry energy. Are you still in here? We're showing no disrespect to the souls that lost their lives right here, chained to this wall. But I will show disrespect to the spirits that may be in here that did chain these poor people to this wall. That's a wrong way to go. And if you think that's the right way, here's the damn chain. Come chain me up to this wall. Is that what you did? You chained them up to this wall? Who did that?
What?
It was like, are you trying to communicate? Come here. Come here. The creepy voice that I just heard was also caught on our digital recorder sitting right in front of me. Did my taunts just anger the spirit of a Spanish soldier who may have been responsible for the human bones found in here?
I'm scared, man. I literally do. I feel scared right now. What do you hear?
I've never freaked out like this, ever. I don't know. I just heard this voice right here. Let's set up an X camera in here. And whatever I think touched me and whatever made those noises, let's see if we can get it visually on video. As Nick and I were setting up the static night vision camera, we sent Aaron back to base to grab another one. What? But you never thought today that this soil would come inside this world. Asesinos!
The line between work and life hasn't just blurred. It's gone. That's why you need someone behind you. Not just a card, an entire support system. Whether visiting the airport lounge to catch up on what's really important, or even using those hard-earned points to squeeze in a little family time. No one has your back like American Express. So no matter where you're going, we're right there with you. The powerful backing of American Express. Don't do business without it. Don't live life without it.
Booking a flight at the last minute doesn't have to be expensive. Just go to Priceline. It's the best place to book a flight a few days before my trip and still save up to 40%. Just tap and go. For the best savings on flights, go to Priceline.
Honey, what is that?
I got you that table runner you wanted.
Sometimes names can be confusing. At Overstock, our name makes people think we sell overstocked goods. But it's actually everything you see here. Overstock has beautiful new furniture and the latest in home trends. So check us out and see for yourself. Overstock.com, where quality on price.
This new Beneful Simple Goodness is amazing. Meaty meat, a tender texture, with real meat, and a blend of peas and carrots I can see. A totally new kind of awesome going on here.
New Beneful Simple Goodness. Tender, meaty morsels with real ingredients you can see.
You want a home with a yard because she wants a home with a dog. You need Realtor.com, the home of home search. You want a home near great restaurants with a kitchen you'll cook in. Someday. You need Realtor.com, the home of home search.
Grubhub is a delivery app that lets you order from all your favorite local restaurants. And yes, it's that easy. Grubhub, restaurants you love, delivered.
Mastering the art of refinement. One dark chocolate rises above the rest. Mint excellence, created by our master chocolatiers. Pure, rich, darkly intense, made like no other. Crafted elegantly thin to reveal complex layers of flavor.
As Nick and I were setting up a static night vision camera in the Bones room, Aaron suddenly came running back to us.
What? What? Something just ran up on me right behind me in the courtyard. Nothing was there.
Yeah. Show us where.
Where at? I heard that. You just heard that. And I looked back, shine the light, nothing there. I chose to see that. Wow. And it was like literally that fast. It was like someone was running at my ass.
These mysterious footsteps, as well as Aaron's reaction to them, were both captured by our static night vision camera we just set up in the money room. You gotta remember that. We're inside their fort. They don't want us in here. I mean, they're doing this to people on the outside walls. We're trapped in here with them for a whole night.
Oh, dude, I'm shook it up.
This is what we got here for.
Yeah, dude, that was a trip.
We finally headed back to set up our other static night vision camera near the room we were just at, and discovered more human remains were also uncovered here.
We've been in the USA for a long time doing investigations, and usually our history goes back maybe 100 years, if that.
You're looking at this right here, this room constructed in 1675.
The gunpowder had to be moved, and the room was used briefly as a prison, then sealed up. Nearly 100 years later, it was opened, and bones found inside have given rise to improbable stories.
You smell that? It smells blue.
Yeah, those are here.
Oh, it smells like horse.
Yeah. Those smell like horse.
Different smells can be linked to the presence of spirits.
Here. No, don't get in our way. Just up.
It's not you.
That's not beautiful.
This foul scent led us to the cannon room, a place we learned earlier people have been pushed by unseen forces.
I don't want you to push me. I'm in your fort. I'm gonna take it over. I'm gonna siege it.
The Spanish, right?
The Spanish.
This is our fort. Nachos.
The Spanish colony.
Although I didn't get pushed, we set up our other static night vision camera and left. About 20 minutes after we hit record, the audio captured another strange growl.
Right here is the soldiers' quarters. Now, Dusty, we interviewed her earlier, and this is where she heard Boots stepping towards her when she was doing an investigation here. And then she also saw an apparition lay down. She could actually see the depression of the soldier laying down. I got a English to Spanish little dictionary thing, and well, I chose some of my own really nice words that I'm going to be calling out to them. You know, we were at a very bad site today. It was a site where between 200 and 300 French Protestant men were killed, were massacred. Did you guys do it? No habla inglés? Matanza? Los franceses? Did you do that? Did you matanza? Los franceses? Yeah, asesino! Asesino! Remember earlier when we went to the site where the Spanish massacred the French? You see this hand? This is from those sacred dudes. Dude. I bet you never thought the day when this soil from all those people that you massacred would come inside this fort. You like this soil? You not want it in here? Wipe it off my hand if you don't like it. And if you don't like me, ataque. Puñetazo, puñetazo. Did you? Yeah. Puñetazo, puñetazo. Ataque. Attack. Ataque me. I'm doing it too. There it is right there. There it is right there. Yeah. You feel that?
Were these cold blasts of air from agitated spirits?
You feel that? Come on. Yeah, right there. Yeah. There it comes.
You don't like this soil, huh?
You do it.
the temperature, you know? Right now.
It's freezing right now. It is
Probably the temperature right now.
It is.
Do you have it?
72.6, 61.4.
Good.
61.4. Did you see that? It was just at 72.6.
That's someone talking.
Just then, Nick and I heard the same voice. Here's the enhanced camera's audio.
Did you hear that?
I did. That's exactly what I heard. That's exactly what I heard.
You know what's over here, guys? That's the prison cell where that lady got attacked.
This is meant to communicate with spirits. Upstairs. Oh my God.
On Travel Channel's all new Dead Files.
My name is Amy Allen. I speak to dead people. I keep hearing, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get out of here.
I'm Steve DeShop, retired New York City homicide detective.
Does he die right there on the spot?
We uncover if it's safe for you to stay.
He was gonna throw me down the stairs. Or time to get out.
I get scared to death being here.
Amy, is this what you saw?
Yes.
All new The Dead Files on an all-new night. Tonight at 10 on Travel Channel.
$13.99. Still put 3 cents on the chicken tenders and 2 favorites. Or sweet. Who gets the sweet and who gets the heat? Take a wild guess. She's such a witch. Summer platters at Ruby Tuesday.
How does Kind make a great tasting protein bar? We crack some nuts, add rich dark chocolate, spread crunchy peanut butter, and pack in 12 grams of protein and 4 awesome flavors. New Kind protein from real food.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
When the day turns to night and the shadows grow long, the ADT yard sign stands watch over your home and family. ADT Home has 140 years of tested, trusted, 24/7 protection. A custom-built system with video doorbells, indoor and outdoor cameras, oxygen lights, carbon monoxide detection, fire and smoke alarms, and more. Rapid responders.
Okay, would you like me to dispatch police there?
We're ready to take action when you need it most. Now, get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring at just $28.99 a month. Call us at ADT.com and try risk-free with our 6-month money-back guarantee from only $28.99 a month. About $1 a day for ADT. America's most trusted home security provider. That's what stands behind every ADT yard sign.
Welcome, Holiday Inn. Thank you.
Hey, I have something for you. Every stay is a special stay at Holiday Inn. Save up to 15% when you book early at holidayinn.com.
Listen, moms, Hot Pockets are exactly what hungry kids want in a snack. Premium pepperoni, real cheese, and that buttery garlic crust. They're literally stuffed full of deliciousness. Nothing satisfies like 100% real cheese and 10 grams of protein.
It's the final days of the big price drop at Mattress Firm. We've dropped the price of a king to a queen and the price of a queen to a twin. That means you can save up to $700. Hurry in, this sale ends Tuesday. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
New Kellogg's Chocolate Frosted Flakes.
Caleb!
Crunch and chocolatey greatness.
Experience Tropicana probiotics with 1 million active cultures. Drink it every day and feel like a cup.
You want another Oreo? Huh? You want another Oreo?
Tropicana probiotics.
Unlimited
food. If they make it,
Another Oreo. Where? Oh, they're in here. No, it's in here. Oh, I think no, I think you want another one. Yes, I will. They want for 3?
While we were using provocation in the soldiers' quarters, a blast of cold air filled the room, followed by a man's voice that appeared to be coming from the prison cell. We were told earlier by the National Park Rangers that they
Arlight, baby, no.
the last time we let somebody go in there.
And make sure the door stays shut.
And we interviewed Aaron, who actually witnessed the psychic being attacked by an evil spirit inside this prison.
Thank you.
That sounded over.
Dude, that is cold breeze that came out of there, man.
Get ready. I can't see anything.
To show you how dark this is. Nick, turn off night vision for a second so they can see what we see. See that? I can't either. Turn it back on.
Be careful in here, guys.
It's a weird smell in here.
No windows in here. How could that much cold air come out of this
I know,
room?
there's no windows in here, that's right.
You want to come attack us?
Come on out and show yourself.
Nick, Aaron, call him out for a second.
Sometimes you have luck with this. Because you're going to like show spirit. Go ahead, man. You can do it.
Did they beat you and torture you in here?
Yeah, yeah.
How long were you locked up in here?
Keep going, man. Come on.
Please, just do something. Knock on something. If you can attack one woman, there's 3 people with just so much energy, cameras and batteries and everything. Use it. Just use it. They're talking to this red light right now.
Getting no response, we decided to set up our static night vision cameras in both the jail cell and the soldiers' quarters. At exactly 20 minutes and 40 seconds after we hit record, we captured these unexplained footsteps. Was this one of the Spanish soldiers taking a prisoner back to the jail cell?
We're working with a scientist, and he has designed this piece of equipment that we are going to field test right now. This is meant to communicate with spirits. This gun-looking thing is especially designed to infrared camera, and I'm going to see the image in my goggles.
I'm going to capture the video and the audio to the tape here and the playback.
But inside here is a sensor, and there's also a word database. Every single word inside this database is designated to a different level of energy. The spirits can manipulate the energy and match it to the different words. So you're going to be seeing a screen, and on the screen, it'll say the word that it's trying to communicate with us, and we're going to see if it's relevant to where we're at while we're walking around. Are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So I'm going to flip this on, and we're going to go inside the Indian prison right now.
Go ahead, hit the data switch.
Ready?
See what happens.
3.
Is that what these Indians did during their captivity? With over 20 minutes in here, we only received one other word, remote. We couldn't make any sense of it, so we decided to head for the door and leave, until we were halted.
We've been in 20 minutes, and this thing has... Wait, whoa.
Close. Lock. Turn.
Hello. You don't want us to turn around and go out?
I'm getting the chills right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
You know when that started happening, Zach? Yeah. I was trying to pull the door open, and I couldn't pull it open.
Ooh, shoot right behind me, bro. I am freezing cold right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Are you here with us? Can you say something else?
Dude, I'm not kidding.
Hey, Maria.
Camera? You see our camera? Let's figure out how to use this.
With relevant words beginning to come through, we decided to head back where we felt the most activity earlier, the Bones Room.
Speak! Gosh, come on. What do you need? What do you want? What was that?
Just moments after my question, Aaron's camera caught this.
What was that?
What's that?
Was that you, Aaron?
Oh, your vibration.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard. I'm looking right back at Aaron's here at the same time.
Aaron.
Upstairs. Oh my god. What's upstairs?
We set up, all of our static night vision cameras. We captured this thing that Nick, Aaron, and myself cannot explain.
There's definitely something going on.
Some kind of a residual battle, absolutely.
All new on Travel Channel. Andrew Zimmern makes the world his oyster.
Trust me, it's all good.
Yeah, all new The Zimmern List. Tuesday at 9 on Travel Channel.
Every day, Zulily brings you something special.
This dog is so cute, my eyes are literally gonna explode out of my face.
Tanya, that's not helping us sell adorable dog tents.
Fine, cut to the adorable dog.
Zulily, something special every day.
Lady Jennifer, you are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Excalibur.
I spent the last 40 years pulling this out of the storm.
I thought that was a legend.
Sir Doug?
Bud Light Lime.
And Bud Light Orange. These are very rare.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Oh, here, let me just move this.
Bit of misery. Dilly dilly.
Bud Light Lime and Bud Light Orange, brewed with real citrus peels.
Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh Ham has no added nitrates, or artificial preservatives. Now, Deli Fresh flavor is for everyone, like those who like meat, those who prefer heat, and those who just love meat. Oscar Mayer Deli Fresh, a fresh way of deli.
Looking for vacation rentals? Well, search Home to Go Florida from $49. Costa Rica from $46. Hawaii from just $63. One search, the best results. Home to Go, the world's largest vacation rental search engine.
There is a place that is full of surprises. Amazing, delicious surprises.